Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Zotalk here, and I have reached the end of my own Nurgle campaign in the quest to understand this. I'm gonna call it and say it shitty faction. Just the pox makers of Nurgle just lack offense in any concept. Has a bit of a doom stat going up against the final battle against the great disappointment Bellikur, who only has 50 winds of magic, so he can't even cast spells unendingly. Three heroes, I think most of them are max level or extremely close to it. Pugath is level 50. I decided to give him the chainsword because I think it's hilarious to me that you can give him like 2k weapon damage. Not that weapon damage is very important. One of the reasons why the Blade of Sinesh is better is because it pierces armor. So armor piercing is always better, especially when you're going up against, anything with more than 50 armor. My god, you are fucking flimsy. You do not live up to your name of being like the strongest thing in fantasy. Outside of the actual Chaos Gods themselves and maybe Sigmar. But Sigmar I don't think really ever got any attention. Let's jump into it and rain smack from the cheap seats. And I'm probably going to use the Nurgle reinforcements just because might need some capping power, but I don't anticipate that they're going to be necessary one bit. I mean, hell, when I had like 6 Soulgrinders, I was like, oh, well, I've essentially beat the game. Now it's just go through the motions.
I sit upon the precipice of godhood, and you have the gall to believe that the bear's carrion is yours. Come then, try and take it.
Alright, first critique of this battle. Apparently Bellikur can't move his mouth.
Unspeakable toxins.
Whatever. This doesn't really matter, as long as they're facing inwards, and here we go. Let's get Dookie Gath in here. Surprised Grandpa doesn't have more to say. Vroom vroom. So you can see this is absolutely overturned. These guys I don't even actually have half the time I need them, they just help summon crap, and I do have the Plague Rot on Nurgle. Which if I was facing mortals would be nice, I'd have extra physical resist, but I don't have that, so who cares? This is absolutely hilarious. I do find it interesting, and in case people are, and we'll go over this after this battle to see how I leveled up Kugath. There's more to just get to this point. I don't see the purpose of getting the where's Dookie Boy? You need kills. Because you can see I need to get his intensity up. But I think at this point, and it doesn't matter who you play, as long as you have whatever, even I think Elemental Bear stack would be, more than enough for just about anything you're going to face. It seems like they've shit-canned the idea of having 2,000 stacks of infantry. Got plenty of ways to infinitely generate magic too, so. Which is good. I like magic. It's the reason why I'm playing, Warhammer instead of anything else. I don't understand why they limited magic. You're sort of taking the fantasy out of fantasy, in my opinion. I also think it's odd that there isn't the atonement of magic here when you're in the realm of chaos. What the fuck do I know? The Pestilence of Decay. Of course I went down his melee line, so he has the Potet Stench. I have the Ranger's Banner on Kugath to attempt to make him slightly faster. The Depths of the Forge. Oh. So they're nullifying his ward save. That's fine. I don't need it to be successful. And then these guys will come in. As these guys, they're pretty shit against everything that isn't a wall, which they're like probably C+ at. Are really good at any form of infantry. Any kind of a small entity, they're pretty good at destroying. Anything that's a large entity, they just sort of toss it around, I guess I should say. But just look at his stat line. You can make Kugath absolutely awesome. And obviously I could boost his stats with like more armor and stuff like that, but I don't want to do that just because I prefer his fat ass to have some semblance of speed. And this is with, well, let's see, abilities? I think it's in here. Yeah, he's got the attack people from far away. I decided to go down to the dwarves, and I haven't killed Ungrim, but he's only got 2 minor settlements left, and he has so invasion, and that's what I was talking about, speed. When we killed the dwarves, I thought that was fun to do some rifting. Try that mechanic out. Give a shit, shoot them. One thing that is nice though is you can do this, just constantly refill their ammunition while you're in this style of new battle, which is thematically cool. I mean, it's overpowered as shit, but I think that's kind of the point. I guess maybe this battle would be difficult if you came in here with like a Stolten or something like that and a bunch of Kossars, but yeah, this is turn 155, so, and then I was able to get the Slaneshi blade, but I don't have it with Kugat because he just doesn't need it. It's pointless to give it to him. As you can just see the absolute raining of shit that they throw at each, and they're really inaccurate, so that's definitely a critique I have of the Soulgrinders, and that's with max experience as well, so, you know, that's as much accuracy and reload skill as I can give them. Because nothing in your skill line boosts Soulgrinders. That's worth the shit. It gives them like spell resistance and melee attack. What the fuck? I think the normal skills are magic symbol? Maybe that's just there because it's a symbol. Does this give hex? Oh, okay, you're capturing hexes. I guess I never did give a damn what this does. Anyways, move on, boys. I have a Death Wizard in case I want to do the infinite magic cheese, but I don't actually have enough Arcane Conduits going. But I have been able to achieve that through items, though. Good enough. Good enough. I think something like this should be acceptable. Go there. You can. Oh, story time.
To sustain this futile quest. That is the first thing I shatter after my ascension. As I feast on Urson's power, my soul grinders.
Just spiderweb soul grinders. I'll be honest, that's actually kind of hilarious to me. You need some ammo. Oprah Winfrey of ammunition over here. You get some ammo. You get a buff. You get a buff. I guess if you really wanted to be stupid, you can give like Kugath gold armor. But whatever. He's even thicker than he used to be. Oh. Come on, fat ass. I'm even surprised that they can actually capture that. It's supposed to be a lock symbol, but it's down. I don't understand. That's the symbol I'm looking for. I don't think I'm going to bother with him. I may end up eating some of my characters out, though. Sort of like this guy. He's got his HP cap, which of course I'm not playing optimally. I don't have to. I have a Doom stack, and you're not really supposed to be Doom stacking Warhammer 3s. It's pretty obvious. Can you leave me alone? Stop hitting me in my big fat ass.
Infection is inevitable.
Just in case I need to get Kugath if it's... I'll fight right there, though. This will be a good place to get his chainsaw upgrade. Oh, never mind. He's already done. Yeah, so there's his final form, if you will. That's almost done. 100 melee defense. I don't even know what that is. It's like, does that mean I can never be hit? I don't... Do I have, like, a soft cap? Oh, hello. I'm sorry. This is a battle of Soulgrinders, sir. What is a Chaos Giant doing here? You don't belong. I need you to vacate the premise. And you can just summon shit at people. This is the primary effect of this place, is to just summon shit. Well, you guys can have a turd biscuit. I might actually have to carry her. I'm sure you could cheese this battle, but I'm not going to, so I'm much more interested in seeing how much stupid shit I can throw this army into. And to see if they even remotely make it out alive. So I could further optimize Kugath with like the Vile Feet and stuff like that for regen, but I just don't see the purpose of it. Okay, you charmed me. Oh, how dashing.
Stomping.
My legs. You two over here. You come over there. I might actually have to summon in reinforcements for some chaff. Right, I put you over here to plug this hole up.
Corruption is
And then
salvation.
Stevie here.
So I go.
Oh, give me great diarrhea monster. Let's see. No one's gonna die. I don't really want to have to recruit another Soulgrinder and level them up again. Where is... yeah, there we go. That was one of those guys, I think. Unless I fucked up and let a Soulgrinder die. No, that's as many as I started with. Unfortunate, ran out of magic. I guess you could fart. Summon more shit.
Grant decomposition.
Superior position.
One thing I do have to say that's a critique of this thing is everybody's huge, so there is like some, yeah, fighty animation business where two fat people can't hit the same fat guy because of like mass, I don't know, conflict, I guess you could call it. Can you guys do your job? I really don't want to have to summon in chaff, but you guys are making it seem like I must. Yeah, go shit on them.
My experiment succeeds.
Oh. See, Kugath finally landed a hit. That hurt. You
Yes.
can head up here, Chief. Press. I think it's this one. Single cast. Some performance issues. I don't have V-Sync on, but I'm currently console locked to 30 FPS. Riddle me that one, Batman. I don't understand it. Here's the power of Soulgrinders. It seems like we have some... well, just a whole lot of issues, really. Just go ahead and summon this fat dude and have him run down there.
Despair. Decay.
Let's have you come over here. You go beat those pink horrors up. Getting penis-y, are we?
Kugath. Plague.
Kugath is absolutely insane, and no, I did not defeat Throt. I just killed a bunch of Nurglings in order to give him the bloody trait. Seems like it's just impossible to ever get enough wins of magic. You guys, like, do your job? Please. I found that there's a lot of, like, I don't know, just stupidity when it comes to ordering units. Sometimes they just forget where they are and just stand there like morons. Like this guy, just... But you are in combat. Get it. Gas them. There is... the Furies, Death Wizard. Why did you guys decide to go into melee?
Come on.
I didn't tell you to do that, I told you to shoot them. You're on not melee mode. Bang bang shoot shoot. Be the artillery piece that you're meant to be. Where is he getting his ass kicked?
corruption, and destruction! The corrupt design!
Bring Nurgle's rot. Kugat, plague weaver.
Chromatic tome proc. Wait a minute. Okay. Where is he, this guy at? Yep. So you're not even shooting your ammo. Hello? Hello?
The Plague Lord's servants!
I must have clicked you like an idiot. Shoot. Love of fucking goodness, man. Like, what? I don't see what is obstructive. You know what? Fuck you guys. Come over here then. All of you, get off my fucking pad. Go do your jobs. 500 base gold or whatever the hell per unit. And they're dumb as shit. Okay. Whatever. Fly at them.
Nurgle's pestilence.
Yeah. You can see, you can really get, with that Legion of Despair icon, you can really leadership shock them. In combination with, like, especially humans, terror routing, so that's like 8, so that's your legendary buff for the enemy gone, plus the icon that's 10, plus the potent stench is another 8. No, still blind as shit. Can you guys see? Tweedledee and Tweedledum, get over there. One of the nice things is, though, you don't have to worry about high micro with this army. Even if sometimes they have collision issues, line of sight, I don't know where I am. One fat guy trying to step before one fat guy, they don't have kindness. I mean, they're demons. There's no after you, sir. Apparently you do have enough. And then you can just unsummon them, which is one of the reasons why I'm not using my supply, because they are expensive units. Because I have, you know, this is the newest one, and he was like recruited at level 3, and now he's level 7 already.
Unspeakable toxins.
Everybody, take a nap.
The perfect play.
And you, I don't want you around here no more. You can go home.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a little goon army. This hopefully won't give me.
Come on.
I'm not gonna like kill myself, right? Okay, am I gonna lose the battle with army losses by inflicting it on myself? It seems like splash damage is still not as great as it ought to be. So yeah, you definitely. And I guess I could have given a bit more melee attack through the red line, but I didn't really see the point. My primary purpose of getting Soulgrinders was their cannon, not the fact that they can hit things. So, and because they're so big and they constantly get into like collision problems with one another, when one person tries to attack, the other guy interrupts them. You can see some of that over here.
Worshipper of disease!
He's actually getting gangbanged. Hey, Kugath, wanna go help him? Idiot.
A new brew.
How are you guys not quit? I guess this would be the purpose of getting some towers. I guess, in the interest of not having to record this for 2,000 minutes. So I think my point has been more or less made. That some of the issues when it comes to, I guess you could call them mobile artillery. Or perhaps this map isn't as polished as one would hope. But Kugath can pretty much take on anything of himself, especially with his Mortis Engine effect. This Mortis Engine effect is pretty spicy. Watch them just not pay attention to it, especially if one person gets here but the other guy's order's there. It just becomes a fast way to a clusterfuck. Leave. Come back.
The pox, father. Over here.
Don't have guard mode on, but people want to forget their orders. Just never can get him fast enough. It's a total kick in the balls. So I didn't mean to throw Kugath away, I meant to give him that. Alright. This reinforcement went up. He's still healing, so a couple of these guys back. This is why I wanted to keep as much supply as possible. Give me my units. Please. There you go. Good as new. This also helps show off some of the, you know, shooty shooty bang bang abilities of my units. Just click this button. He's not quite ready. Bring him in. Those are additional reinforcements, so I don't really have to, I don't need to use. There's no real point. One of you should be able to gas. Am I being initiated this certain fight? Like, why is there more reinforcements? Or is it because it's the final battle and must be quote-unquote difficult? I don't go over there. Actually, can you guys shoot from there? I mean, I would be really, really happy if you did. There. We'll just stand Kugath there like an idiot and taunt them once he's done. We do have technically have magic here. Cattle village mode. Scooching the camera forward. For the respawn point to be here. Come on out, fat daddy. No. He's the star of the show. Goes up front. Now they're gonna kill my tower. Well, I don't really care about that. Every single one of you should be able to disappear and come back. This was an actual battle map, I'd play this totally different, but I think this is a good showcase of what capabilities Soulgrinders have. And how their weaknesses are, like, extremely apparent. I don't think an army of almost completely Soulgrinders is necessary. I believe 5 or 6 is probably all you need if you really want to get fancy. This is just absolutely unnecessary. To the point, I think it's an actual detriment. I think it actually hurts more than it does anything useful. Unless you can put them in in something like this. This is good. This is what they're really good at. Just sitting here shooting shit. Like this, that's, yeah, see, look at that, that's beautiful. Look at this unit of bloodletters. Just okay, thanks, bye. They didn't even disintegrate, they just got deleted. Demonettes, bye-bye. For fuck's sake. Come towards me and see. Like that. And they don't get enough ammunition. There's no other way to give them more ammo. There's no tech tree, there's no plague for it, there's no... I don't know, maybe there's a defeat trait for extra ammunition, but I want to say Marcus Wolfhard is more weapon strength? Be honest, I don't need it. So that's the reason why whatever they hit is being yeeted and deleted. This, and like that, and then like this, and then like that, and then like this. And I get it, people are like, what happens if you put them in melee? Like I said, they play tag with who they're shooting. And then they pretty much do no damage. It's ridiculous, and I do not think giving them extra melee attack would have solved that problem. It's essentially a collision issue. Press J, but I have noticed that the about-face animation in Warhammer is a little shit, to say the least.
Inevitable.
Not to mention their target and threat radius is like really weird. You know, like if you place, let's grab these units, like just the desire to place units, as you can see with the green arrow, like I don't get that. I think that's creative assembly presuming that they know what you're going to do, so they're trying to help you, and they're doing exactly what I don't want. I want Kugat up front because he has 22k health, mind you, without killing Throg. And if I wanted to, for the sake of big pretty health number, I could probably give him a bunch of health items, but I think I have him the armor piece that gives him more armor. I think it's a bit more armor, and it's speed. I know it's speed, it's like 10% extra speed, plus the ranger standard. Alright, let's click this button, let's bring out my heroes. Alright, it's not gonna let me run out of supply. I need to go cap in an area. I will notice that this is kind of a good thing to eliminate cheese, though. They just sort of ignore your heroes or lords, even if they have 9,000 mass, whatever the hell that actually is. So unless I'm missing something, these two they look identical in size to me, even though Soulgrinders are only at a measly 4,000. When I say Dookie monsters, 5,000? Great Unclean One, regular Great Unclean Ones are 5. Exalted Great Unclean Ones are 5 as well, I think. Even though the Exalted Greater Unclean One, the Lord variant, looks bigger than the unit variant, so that's an idea. Okay, guys, there. They also still do get stun locked, I guess is the word. I suppose this is just the last Souls battle. Well, I'm having fun blowing shit up. I guess you're supposed to just march forward like an idiot while losing this position through unending reinforcements. Yeah, that does look like that's how this game plays. Well, in the interest of not going forever, I guess. Congratulations, your new location's over here. And then you guys... Can I get some in Nurglings? I don't have any supply. Slug should have good capture staying power. Alright, you guys will stand there. Alright, and then everybody else. Move as fast as you cannot. And to think that his base speed is 27, and that's even slower than that. Everybody else gets a speed enhancement. Chaos Steeds, Rock Flies, except for you. You get nothing. You don't get, I don't know, plague-induced nitrous oxide Nurglings under his chair. Just, these poor little fuckers have had to carry this fat, lazy piece of shit for so long. It's like Grease's Goldtooth. He's a shittier version of Grom the Paunch. I think he's a terrible fucking lord. I'd honestly, sometimes I've even thought about some of the campaigns I tried Greasus to tag Greasus out and put in a regular Tyrant. I think Greasus Goldtooth is terrible. Okay. Next. See what I mean? It's like, you can only have maybe 4 or 5 big entities attacking another big entity at a time. I'm holding down Alt. Like, everybody just bum rush them. If anything, you can shock his leadership. Fuck it, use this. And then you Spirit Leech one of them. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, it does sort of show the point that I can pretty much take on anything I want to. One detriment, though, for this army is ammunition, which is one of the reasons why I thought I ought to show it here instead of an actual field battle. Also, it's kind of impossible to find any sort of a field battle ever. I guess I could rift off to Cathay and just stand there for like 10 turns, hoping that Cathay would find out that they don't like my existence being there because of anti-player bias, but that's a lot of fucking work just to show off that Soulgrinders aren't as great as one would think. They're fun, you know. It's really cool to just see them constantly pepper an area. I mean, obviously there's, right, you idiots are blocking one another. And you'll find yourself with these big entities, you'll be doing this a lot. I'm assuming a stack of little Groms is no different. As I know that that's another single entity based artillery. Go capture this location. Everyone's dead, right? This should be up on lock. Once you guys are done, we can... If you can get everybody to hold hands, one overcasted fleshy abundance, and they're all like full health. So that's at least one thing going for Nurgle magic, is fleshy abundance does make sense with Great I think Great Unclean ones are even worse than Soulgrinders. I tried a couple of them and I think they're absolutely atrocious. I prefer my heroes, thank you very much. You would think these previous points might give you more, but I guess. Wish in one hand, shit in the other. See, one gets filled up first.
But you will suffer.
No, you're definitely gonna need a god to face all of this. I understand, Bellicor, that you're pretty terrible.
More test subjects.
Unfortunately, you're not represented well. Is he behind me? Oh, are you gonna play flying teabag business like the Bloodthirster version of Korn? Which is where I just was.
I will.
I like Kugath as a character, I just wish he was faster. I wish there was like a plague that gave your people speed. Somebody who likes to experiment on plagues, I don't know, more options seems like a thought. See what I mean? Like, I am clicking, go in melee, and he's just not doing it. What do I do, George? What do I do? Here, let me give him more melee attack. There you go, vomit on Bellicor. Yay, pukey. That's spicy.
The Fox Father. The perfect blade.
One of the things I find myself doing pretty often is casting single target magic on whatever monster he's facing just because of the animation canceling that happens. Like these guys here. This Slaneshi Soulgrinder. Look at that, he just charged whatever this skull tree thingy is. Actually, I don't think that's a tree. Well, maybe it's part tree, I don't know. So it seems like big entities aren't meant to hit other big entities. So now he's confused by these pox makers of Nurgle, or pox riders. Ah, see, he got a hit off. Yay! Unless...
Bringer of sickness.
You little bitch.
Infection is inevitable.
I don't know, everybody shoot him since we have really no air power that's hurting.
Unspeakable proxies.
I do like this mechanic though, that's good. These abilities are useful.
Taliban, follow. The perfect blade.
One of you that had, yeah, that thing. Then you can use your tomes. I have been lucky with the item gambler to get a handful of these. These are like an essential item for everybody. Magic good, need more magic. Units bad, magic more please. I don't know, kill him with the Locus of Contagion. Don't you heal or something like that? Or you can't heal because none of my units are routing. Well, he's getting his cheeks clapped. I'm gonna help my cultist. I prefer he doesn't get wounded. And yes, everybody here's wounded. Which is one of the reasons why I don't really care what happens. I guess go deal with infantry. It's the one thing you're good at. Be'lakor, super strong. Of course, that's just kind of ridiculous. Alright, Hot Wheels. So I got options here. Just let me out of here, please. Just win the battle, for fuck's sakes. That one. Generates magic.
A new brew.
Just got a couple of poopy monsters in here.
Tallyman.
How the hell did they start out with one experience already? Whatever. Wasn't aware summons can gain experience. It's kind of cool if you ask me. Please regenerate magic faster. Do I have an option? Probably should have handed out more forbidden rods. Grouping them up, especially during combat, is just a god-awful experience. Silence them. Yeah, everybody go over there. Just group up. Oh, get that out of my face. Dookie monsters, go over there. I don't care if you get healed, you're not important.
Come on.
I just don't want to lose any of my army, just because it's just, I don't want to have to replace this. Even though I definitely can. See, like, he's getting his cheeks clapped, and he's, like, stuck. I find getting stuck is often a thing here. It's like a reoccurring theme. None of you will die, so at least we've got that going for us. Maybe if I click enough, they'll fucking listen, huh? Here we go. That should be enough of the units I care about, if not all of them. Seeing anybody. Oh, you got out of the way. Oh no, he got the tail end of it, did you? For me, hey! Wait a minute. No, he did. It's just the child of Nurgle is over.
Unspeakable foxes.
And then, I don't know. Fart, yep. Locus of Contagion. This is the big thing, especially when it comes to killing lots of little infantry when you get bogged down like this, is you just keep using Locus of Contagion. A couple of seconds. And I know it's every 10 seconds you're supposed to use it again, but the more damage and the more shock damage we do, the more they break. And you, I don't know, bless him. And that gives me more of the reserve modifier effect, which somehow is where the magic generation bug, I don't know if it's a bug or a feature, which is kind of the story of this game, if you will. Do I have enough of this to build some towers? Something else I heard here. Do we not have towers here? Very awkwardly positioned, let's put it that way. So this entire chaff of area, just nothing, huh? Strange. So you want me to use a bunch of barriers? But I don't want to use barriers, I want to use guns. Here we go.
The perfect play. Calculating my destination. Yes, my experiment succeeds.
Not entirely happy about the queuing of magic. I see why sometimes they did it, but I think it's more of a thing that doesn't help advance players.
Slaughter them. Nurgle's pestilent brewmaster.
Infestation abound. On festering foot. It
See,
aids
there's
decay.
a lot of collision
The
bumpiness.
corrupt
That
design.
sort of sucks sometimes.
The gift of sickness.
Okay, click on him. We'll bring Jesus.
Your father's blessing.
Kill
All
him.
hail decay. The plague father's decree.
And these guys are still considered a large unit too, so I don't understand how a plague cultist has. Okay, I was looking on somebody else. It's like, wait, plague cultists don't have 4,000 mass. There's no way. You'll see a lot of little red things down here. Means that they're obstructed. They can't shoot over each other. It's just like, see, it's like they forgot what I told you to fucking shoot him. Shoot him in the back. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, see, the charge actually went off there, even though they did interrupt one another. You see his HP go down
Praise the
pretty well.
Father.
Okay, I win, right? Hey, I win the game! I now have Bellicor as a sex slave. I'm gonna put some poxes on him and run him into Cathay or something, I don't know. I guess we could stick around to watch the rest of this, but I thought I would just show off what a bunch of Soulgrinders look like. They have some glaring issues, especially when you put too many of them in your army. But it was fun, it was something I could do. By no means is it efficient. Is it advisable in your campaigns? No. Same thing with, like, I guess Cathay, a bunch of Terracotta Sentinels. Why? It's pointless. You could get better mileage out of other things. However, in auto-resolve, it doesn't do very... that's the word I want to use. Desirably. Because your units still get hurt. They don't die, but they do get hurt a lot. So you still auto-resolve. It doesn't take care of that
battle to
egregiousness.
draw the gaze of the gods. All breathe a sigh of relief, for Bellicor is vanquished. Godhood is lost. As was foretold, shackled within the depths of the forge was the body of Ursun, the once mighty god of Kislev. The great unclean one stands before the lifeless god, the divine corpse still fresh to plunder. With these divine ingredients, Kugath Plaguefather shall realize his darkest dream. A brew potent enough to blight the gods themselves. Behold, a god pox unleashed upon the heavens. One drop of Ursun's blood was enough to break my curse. The taint purged from the tome of fates. Now it is mine to command. A pure white crow, the lone witness to my ascension. Come, little one, what fate awaits us?
Yeah, I've unfortunately been spoiled in this. It's almost impossible not to have read that this is where the depression starts. You get a little insert. Congratulations, you win. You don't have to play the campaign anymore. It's undefeated, forced back to shadow the curse he has worked so hard to break. He has been gleefully reinstated by Zinch, but the change of ways isn't done with the first human prince yet. He makes Bellicor a final offer, a way to manifest his physical body once more, eager to grasp any advantage he can. The Dark Master agrees. I don't know why he would do that, but I suppose it's possible in his arrogance. You give him what he wants to, he starts to turn into a dumb child and agrees to something he probably doesn't want. He, above all beings, should have known that no deed with the great deceiver we be so simple, Bellicor Temporarily at least has got his body back, but it is bitter rage. The terms of the agreement soon become clear. He must soothe the very foe that defeated him. He must serve you. I understand why. I don't get it. I'm Kugath. My master is Nurgle. And then I just took a shit on Tzeentch's front doorstep by messing with his demon prince of Tzeentch to get the soul to come here. So why would Tzeentch give the greater demon of Nurgle, Kugath, a boon? I don't. Why the hell would he do that? What the fuck? Just. Oh, look, achievements. Oh, I guess you guys didn't see that. I only have this game attached to this. So you get to see in the beginning, I took my first Providence and dicked around for a while, just leveling up. I had to set a bunch of ambushes in order to get the Krakadrak to sail over here and to fight Kugath himself. So I thought, well, maybe I just give everything to Kugath, since I will be trying to actually beat the game legitimately. I ended up looting and occupying it and letting the orcs actually ended up becoming a real pain in my butt. Very surprisingly. That was weird. I let them just kind of live there because I didn't give a shit, and I was trying to get a bunch of other demons to just fight them. For the longest time, I wanted other people to fight, and then I ended up coming down here doing some rifting around turn 50 something. Yeah, and then I started to really expand. I had two heralds. One was stayed here while Kugath went and did shit up here. So let me pause. I want to say around this point, I think I just came out of I think it was Kugath's domain. So Kugath was back here, and I ended up pushing forward. I was like, well, I wouldn't mind keeping the Tong around, but I think I ended up having to wait because I didn't want to mess with this minor Tzeentchian faction. I ended up thinking that just wasn't worth it. And I assumed sooner or later he would. He eventually did confederate them, which I was kind of pissed me off, but I can't really show you. But I came down here and sort of took a lot of this stuff out just to just take it. I think this red stuff is Carrot Cadron, but at this point they became extremely minor inconvenience. It was actually the Darkland orcs who came through here and messed with me. I want to say this is the undead placeholder for Neferata. The Silver Pinnacle faction was here. I just left them be. I don't care about this Providence. I came and fucked around with humanity. I ended up taking Manfred's castle. It's like, well, why not? Let's kill Manfred. And that was an easy battle. I think at this point I had turned that herald into my good friend Tucker. He said, I want to be a big fat ugly guy. And I was like, okay, if you want to be, here you go. Can't get any uglier than an exalted great unclean one. And he just came through and kind of constantly gave them a headache. I want to say this is Carrot Cadron and some of its minor provinces. I ended up losing, and I don't care. I wasn't going to march an army 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 turns just to get over here to deal with this. To then have this, I just figured, well, I'll just continuously plague them and make it a pain in the ass and make attacking me look unadvisable. As you can see, I came through here and confederated Magathkin. This was when Kugath was out of the Forge of Souls for a little while, or the Realms of Chaos. Dealing with this, the records tab does not show where you are, unfortunately, which that seems to be a misstep. So I sort of came through here. I think there was a minor clan of Skaven here. I ended up taking this over eventually and sort of playing back and forth. I was actually friends with every demon, actually. I made a coalition. I didn't really want to fuck with the demons. And I thought it would be thematic and fun, so I did some confederating here. And at this time, I want to say I was at war with Scarbrand. He decided to go to war with a minor faction that I was building relations with. And I have found, as Kugath, if you do a reinforcement battle, you have a good chance of getting a Nurglish mutant ancillary, which gives you plus 15 diplomatic relations. Daniel had an amazingly horrible time over here. I thought it was kind of funny. I actually thought Nakari was going to die here, but then he just turned around like, oh, well, Nakari's dealt with. I'm going to deal with me now. I'm like, dude, leave me alone. Go kill Nakari, even though I did have an alliance with him. That's fine by me, it's one less person. And he was, I think, around turn 80-something, tied with me in the Forge of Souls contest. And this is when I had enough forces. I had my Herald on a Rotfly with a couple of other Heralds doing Locust Bomb cheats, and then a Great Unclean one, and I ended up making another Great Unclean one around turn 105, I think it was. I had a second army. I also did eventually end up fucking up and losing the personal sycophant that I was lucky enough to get out of Slaaneish's realm, which I think is mandatory for every single playthrough. You want the Slaaneish's blade, and you want the personal sycophant, so that way you can lean into your lords and heroes and get them as much experience so they can carry your armies. Unless you're playing one of the humans, where your armies are just as powerful, if not better than, your lords. I think for the demons, your lords can end up doing a heavy amount of lifting. And this also is your minor lords and exalted demons too. When it comes to the exalted great unclean ones, the physical resistance plague and not fighting other demons is necessary because they do magical damage. Just don't put a great unclean one over here. They don't have any purpose. Kugath has a hard enough time getting his big fat ass shot. The exalted great unclean one lords are no better. They're great at killing humans though. To an extent, because you can stack the physical resistance. They're good at defending against that. Then you throw the 20%, 17%, 10% with an armor. You can get them to 47% plus the physical resistance. You can get them physical resistance capped or very close to it when you were over here. This is the reason why I had a great amount of success. And because a large portion of this area is these lords down here are all turned off. The dwarves, they're not nearly as scary as they should be. The Empire is just like absent-minded. They're like turned off. They have no AI of aggression. Kislev is a pain in the dick. They're on, and I never had to worry about Cathay. So that was pretty much that. As you can see, I started to go kind of crazy here and really start to kind of back and forth. A lot of it was just to kill their people and to mess with them. I actually have Nameless Tucker down here, and he's ready to go take on Kislev if I want him to. But now that I'm done with the Forge of Souls battle, I can put Kugath someplace else. And then towards the end of it, I played a little bit of back and forthness because all of Kugath's heroes, including himself, have the Coronate debuff of being in an area with high Coronate corruption. So I did leave this minor faction here, which, hindsight 2021, probably not the best of ideas because of their Bastion building gives a lot of outside Coronate corruption, and even with 100% Nurgle corruption, I can only reduce their corruption by 5. They gain +7 plus the Coronate stuff, and it just like it becomes unobtainable to reduce the corruption down here. I would have to kill every single person. A minor Norscan faction ended up was gearing up to go to war with me, so I figured maybe Tzeentch will do a changing of the ways, so I got all of my demon military allies to fight him, which is what this is right here. This is these Norscan factions, which is actually who I wanted to be friends with, because they're the biggest Norscan faction, and I figured being able to get their units would be fun, but then they started to hate me because I started getting such a huge great power penalty, and I was allied with the Demons of Chaos. Daniel, for some reason, wouldn't piece them out. Even though he was allied with me. I figured it'd be fun to have a big chaos coalition, and it worked with Tzeentch. He never fucked with me once. He never changed the way to me once. We actually were pretty good friends. So perhaps my strategy of betraying the Tong and pissing him off by fighting those guys early was not the best of ideas. The greed got the better of me, and this is what my map looks like. I have part of Hockland, Ostermark I was back and forth with, pretty much secured. Sylvania and Nuln, I think this is the major city of Nuln. Here's the minor spot. I could go and kill the actual this, but I'm waiting for them to fight the ogres, but they were failing. The ogres ended up finally killing, Scrag ended up finally killing Marienburg, so I did want to come through here and secure all of the old world right in this location. And then I have one person here, one person there. Kugath off doing this bullshit, which I would prefer to have had him doing anything else. but that is the campaign objective, and I didn't want to go for a military conquest because he ended up snowballing, and to kill Tzeentch, that's probably like another extra 100 turns in between the changing of the ways, just the fact that none of my army are good against him. I suppose I could, in another video, if you'll let me know, I could betray him and then just go YOLO Kugath in there with the Soulgrinder army to see how well they do against a bunch of Tzeentchian forces, because Tzeentch does beat Nurgle hard. Like, it's the biggest counter I've ever seen. It's like peasant swordsmen going against the gun faction. It's a slaughter. So that was my first campaign I've ever completed, and it was tough. I would say that Nurgle needs a lot of love. He fucking sucks. Defensively, his plagues are fine. Offensively, they're just, it's just minor nuisances. I don't understand it, especially when you read the text of like the horrifying things that you're inflicting on your enemies don't feel like it. The offensive attrition plagues, the percentages to armor, like none of that's, it's just whatever. Who gives a shit? The only reason why I had success in here is because this Exalted Greater Unclean One had the Soneshi Blade. So he did a lot of damage to the Elemental Bears, the Steam Tanks occasionally, Rocket Barrages, summoning shit with the Constant Vomiting perk and his Plague. Like all of the stuff that helps you pretty well, but the stuff that debilitates your enemies is extremely weak. Specifically on Legendary, because attrition just doesn't do much. The only thing that's nice about the attrition plague is the campaign movement reduction. That is good. Everything else about it is like, who gives a shit? The palsy plague, -5 to melee attack, like who the fuck cares? That's nothing. They miss 3 more times at every 100 swings or some shit like that, probably is how the math works. Is if it's a 5 equals 2, but they should get a +6 or 7 because it's on very hard battle difficulty. However exactly the buffs are, I haven't decided to be that. I just don't care what the numbers are. With whatever melee cheats they get, and just Kugath is weak. Yeah. Everybody else just has so much better tools, and perhaps that'll be, maybe Kugath is going to be the Skaven, because the Skaven in Warhammer 2 were terrible for the longest time until they got the Ikit Claw DLC. Then they were fun to play. Maybe that'll be what Kugath is. They're going to be bottom rung until some DLCs come back out to make them great. I think the Pox mechanic that Kugath has potential, but they're just so underwhelming offensively speaking. And that seems to be his whole thing. Like, I mean, for fuck's sake, he made a god Pox that's supposed to be able to kill the gods themselves. Like, that should turn any mortal, even the greater demons, just to absolute dust, but you don't get anything. Just, I mean, yay, you win. I get nothing. Battle Masters, upkeep, it just, nothing. I've gotten, I got this. He starts at level 20, so that's cool. And I've already seen what he offers, missile resistance. Just a melee attack, nuke, maybe for Khorne and a bunch of Bloodthirsters he could be useful. Just melee it up as the one spellcaster that Khorne could get access to. Yeah, he doesn't fit in anybody's army. Like, you know, the template that they're using is for everybody, but there's no red line. I just replace? I mean, I'll get a bug supply line for this, but yeah, that's... There's Be'lakor for you. Fuck you. Waste of goddamn money. But yeah, it's a lot of issues with Warhammer 3, but they're all... Oh, right, I forgot I fucked Rhys's Goldtooth in the ass so many different times, it was hilarious. He kept going to the same places I went to, so I kept killing him in there, which is, I think, a viable strategy. Why are you in my lands? God, you're stupid. I should have just killed you when I had a chance. But it does give me access to recruit his units, which is the reason why I kept these people alive in the first place, was just to recruit their units. I think they want me to fight him. Yeah, I have a mission for that. So I think the mission stuff is fun. There's a lot of good stuff in this game. I just think that there's some bass-ackwards thinking, right? I've been auto-resolving, so I have him doing the every punishment and this Providence. Goes through the roof to not have to constantly recruit these Nurglings. I would like to have high-level Nurglings with him, but man, I don't like having to do every stupid little battle. And here is the other guy I had a lot of success with as a herald. I decided to turn him into another greater unclean one, just for kicks and giggles. Campaign movement plus 5%. Whoop-de-doo. Tucker got a terrible trait. Intelligence, yeah. Ambush defense chance. I'm not fighting Skaven, they don't really exist, so that's pretty much useless. And hero defense chance plus 5% with wounding aggressors when they try to use a hero action against him. Whoop-de-doo. So that's that. I still think that Nurgle is playable. They're not Norska bad in Warhammer 2. They're not like absolutely unfun to play, or even the Warriors of Chaos, which were just not fun to play. I mean, they were just a drag, but they're plausible. They're acceptable. They have some fun units. They're not completely and utterly pointless to play or a complete drag, you know. I like the defense stuff. You can kind of get some spice in your armies and stuff like that, so that's cool. So that's kind of my thoughts on Warhammer 3. I think that it's got a good foundation, but it's going to take probably towards fall before it's really quote-unquote fun to play. I don't think the release of Immortal Empires is going to be super fun, but we'll see. I think Creative Assembly's ambitions are going to get the better of them. This guy Cunning, he did a lot of good work for me. I just left him there so I could do the Forge of Soul battle. But that's it. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next one. I think next campaign, if you guys want me to, I can continue to play my clusterfuck Nurgle campaign if y'all want. I can. I don't really care. It's gonna be sort of a pain in the balls, but I can do it. I can continue to play this, and we can just have fun killing shit now that the campaign objective is done. Or I could play Kislev. I think Kislev's a lot of fun. Cathay, in my opinion, is a bit easy. Their start's a little too cushy, in my opinion. The only thing that's really difficult is Yao Ming having to deal with the changing of the ways with Kairos, where you do want to come out there somehow to kill him, and I haven't quite created a strategy. The ogres are like orcs. They're like orcs 2.0. That's the way I look at them. They're like a little bit better version of the greenskins. They play pretty much similar. Big, dumb, stupid melee infantry and a handful of range units to give them some variety and some okay artillery. Very greenskin. Love you guys. We'll see you in the next one. That is all for me. That's my rant is over with whatever the fuck this game is supposed to be.